Slowly kisses busting by the river.
Welcome to another exciting edition of Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And today we're going to go into some more BOLOs, some interesting things. Hopefully you can find some of these things over here. Hopefully you can make a lot of money. Definitely do tell us down below if any of these ever help you, because definitely do hope you do very well out there as well. And why don't you take it away, Mr. Magazine?
All right, we'll start with the toy theme. We got the Star Wars Vintage 1979 Droid Factory, and it was complete, which is very hard to find complete. With the box as well, with the instructions, all the parts. Generally sell for $250 to $300. I took a $225 on this one. I got a deal on it, but a very cool piece.
Now, that came out in 1979. I would have been 10 years old. I actually had that.
Cool.
I do remember my cousin had the Death Star. You probably had the Death Star.
Oh, yeah.
That was huge. That was a gigantic piece. And he had the Millennium Falcon and all that.
Yeah.
I think I had a Land Speeder. And I had that.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
And I think I had like Star Action Hero from Kmart. I think that was the only figure that I had. I know I had the, what's the case? Not the real Star Wars case.
Star case.
Yeah, we had Star case to put my figures in.
Knockoff. Yeah, cool. That's the $30 piece, too.
Yep. But the funny thing is, I will say, you just said that's rare to have complete. It is rare to have complete. That had so many little pieces.
Yeah.
You know how many times when I was, putting together the droids, I kneeled on one of those little plastic pieces? I will say it hurts like heck.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So that definitely is one of the more difficult ones to get complete. Probably what I would suggest to people out there, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you can find one that's partially complete, maybe don't sell it right away, because you're probably going to need some of those pieces to fill in on another one if you come across this thing regularly, because obviously it's worth more complete than it is incomplete.
Yeah. All right, moving on to graded magazines again. Super high grade on the Spaceman, which is a rare title to begin with. This, I think, went for the whole 310, I think. It's from 1964. Boris Karloff's inside there, so it's a very cool piece.
Now, let me ask a question, and I think I know the answer to this, but it mentions Ray Bradbury and Boris Karloff.
Yep.
It says them on the label?
Correct, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because obviously
Yeah.
a little hard to do research on it if it's already
Very
slabbed.
true,
You
yeah.
can't really show the table of contents very easily.
Yeah, if it's not, I think they're both on the cover, but they're also like in the middle top right under the title and number.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah, and then there's the back of it. Very cool.
nice.
All right. Sports card still hot, just as hot as before. LeBron James 2003-04 Upper Deck Phenomenal Beginning set. I think this was his rookie year or a year after. It's a 20-card set. This thing was $10 forever, this set. Now it's $263.32.
How was that issued?
It's a factory set. Yep.
Okay. Now, was it issued with a box, or was it
It was a box
shrink
set.
wrapped?
Yeah, no, it was a box set. Upper Deck did those with, Jordan, Bo Jackson, all kinds of guys over the years. And,
Now, that's... did you have the box? I don't see if the box is in
no
there.
box.
No box.
Yeah,
Okay.
with the box, it's probably about $300 is pushing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you think somebody will get that graded?
They could. I mean, unless, if you get them all graded, it's going to be costly. But, they all would have to be close to mint, which they should be. But, who knows with the grading now.
So he's probably just buying it to have the set.
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to wait like a year to get them back from, anywhere,
Right.
PSA and so forth. Yep. All right, moving on. Very cool piece. Snake Plissken, Funko Pop, NYCC exclusive. There's only 1,000 made. I think I took an offer of $150 on this. But the super hard one, super cool piece as well.
New York Comic Con,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure
One of
you're
a
a fan of
thousand,
the
yeah.
movie, too, right? Good movie.
I've never seen that.
Really? All right.
Is it better or worse than Tango and Cash?
It is better.
Wow,
Yeah,
you didn't
it's
even
better.
you didn't even
Definitely
pause
better.
on that one over there.
For sure it's better. Yeah. All right. Lastly, for me, more vintage Star Wars toys.
Now, did you pick up a collection of these?
I
or-
picked up about 4 or 5 pieces from a guy. A lot of figures and some of the ships. and
Now,
so
was he a
forth.
collector? Because everything has box and stuff.
He had him when he was younger, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
very
And
cool.
he kept the box, because I'm very sure that the box... When I got that Droid Factory, I'm pretty sure the box lasted all of about 10 seconds being ripped open to be able to...
Sure. But he had other figures, but he was going off crazy eBay prices, and he thought they were worth 10 times what they were really worth. So
Oh, I think you mentioned that in
Yeah.
a prior video we had. Yeah.
I ended up doing, buying all the ships at least. So, but at $179, I think I paid probably half that for it. So, good piece.
So the first item I have over here, you were recently on the Auction Professor show with me,
Yep.
and we were talking about books and how I had gone to a place that had $6 books the first day and then got a deal the second day and then I got a better deal the third day, et cetera, et cetera. And, an 1844 astronomy book I had and, old Mormon book and all this kind of thing, very, very good books from the, 1800s, just book after book after book from the 1800s. So I probably picked up, I'm going to guess, 75 books, something or other like that. As we're sitting here recording this, everybody knows that what I do, and I seem to be one of the few people that does it, I put everything up at auction first, taking offers, and then if it doesn't sell, I list it in the store. I know you do a lot of things at auction first as well because you just never know. Like, for instance, in the one BOLO video we had with the Bitcoin item,
Yeah, exactly.
you would have taken $25 on it and been happy.
Yeah.
Instead, you got $200 and some off of an auction. So you just never know when something's going to pop. And sure, it might cost a dime or 15 cents sometimes, depending upon the category.
Right.
I see it as being worth the time to do it that way. You also get a pop when you first list it, and then you get another pop in search when it goes into the store. So to quote a friend of the channel, Auction Professor, I think it's a no-brainer to list everything at auction first at the price you're willing to take for it.
Right.
So I picked up, and I'm slowly listing, 75 books, 1800s books, Latin books, great books. One book got bid on and sold.
Nice.
And if I could figure out how to work the mouse, you will see what it is. Oh, and I didn't even do this right. There we go. 1970s Alfred Hitchcock and the Three Investigators.
Wow.
Just made me laugh pretty hard because here I am with all these rare books out there. And then one book that sells was a book that when I bought it, I said, I know it'll sell, but is it even going to sell for the $20? Sure enough, it got bid on at $20. Wow. So whole house full of rare books, and the quickest selling book out of there was some common book. So that's just kind of funny. Just goes to show for as long as I've been doing this, sometimes I get surprised by what ends up selling quickly out of stuff. Next thing over here, I actually put up on Instagram. So we do put an Instagram up every day. Generally Sundays you do the Instagram. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays we announce the upcoming video. And Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we give tips as well. So do check us out on Instagram if you haven't already. This was featured on Instagram. Catalog of chess, checkers, and amusement books. 1935 Leary Stewart Company with the mailer. Basically what it was is somebody asked them a question about a book, which is what the top over there, the letter was mentioning a book they had for sale. The rest of it was all just things that they threw in trying to sell you other books. I actually listed it in the toys and games section under the chess. And sure enough, it sold.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would have just thrown it away because it's junk mail. I do fairly well with old junk mail, basically, when you get down to it, because nobody saves it and nobody thinks to sell it. Somebody bought it because of the chess catalog, I assume. Now they've got a reference, I think it's 12 pages or something like that, with old chess books. They're a chess book collector. Now they've got a reference from 1935 of what was out there. They might find a book they didn't know existed. It's something or other interesting that most people wouldn't have listed. Next thing over here, and this shows the importance of keywords and the importance of, if you're able to do so, go through your items. Co-ed magazine, August 1983. Now I picked up a lot of co-ed magazines, 10, 12 of them. They're no big sellers in general. They sell eventually.
Yeah.
This, however, had Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak in it, along with Tom Selleck. Took a picture of the Steve Jobs page, and what it was a section about kids and young people, which Steve Jobs would have been young back then, and what they were doing with computers. Wow. And so it's kind of neat, hidden out in there. Nobody else had bothered to list Steve Jobs in there. I went through it, found him, put the picture up, sold it for the $24 when none of the other ones I got out of the collection sold. So it definitely shows that somebody or other wanted it because they collect Steve Jobs. Speaking of keywords, Are you aware of any hotter magazine out there than the Illustrated Weekly of India?
Yes.
Are you aware of any slower magazine out there than the Illustrated Weekly of India? Walt Disney. I mean, maybe they bought it because it has Iran or Edmund Hillary, but I'm suspecting it's Walt Disney. There was actually a small article about Walt Disney on it, as I remember. Listed it. I think I took $34, something like that, as an offer. Uncommon magazine, but if you're a Disney collector, you probably didn't have this in your collection.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that somebody out there wants is a completist on Disney. And this is something other that they're not normally going to find. And the last thing we have over here is yet another thing that we featured in Instagram. And basically what that Instagram post said was, well, you haven't seen that Instagram. Guess what my post said?
Don't use black Band-Aids to bind your book. No?
Maybe I'll use that next time.
Okay.
Basically, it was condition doesn't always matter. Yes, you obviously want things in the best shape as you possibly can. I took a $100 offer on that.
Nice.
And as I said in the Instagram, it's a traveler's guide that's been around the world. I mean, that thing was falling apart. They literally had to bind it back together using masking tape, it looks like, on there.
Sure.
And it sold for over $100 because it's a rare book. A lot of dealers would just have walked by that. And there aren't a lot of them out there. That's why it's worth $100. What the person probably will do is probably will get it rebound, I would expect, because then it'll look presentable.
Sure.
Not worth my time to go and do that. I just listed it as it was. But a lot of people would never have bothered listing it. You know, at the sale, they'd look at it and go, well, why would I buy this? It's in bad shape, which admittedly, it's in very bad shape. Now, if you notice down below, I did take a lot of different pictures. If I could figure out how to work this mouse, it'd be a much better show. A lot of different pictures, you know, of the various things, and also the table of contents, figuring that somebody would want it for the content. And sure enough, they bought it and they were happy with it. So that's great.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Did Indiana Jones buy it? Was he the high bidder? Because that's something I could see him using.
That's true. That's true. So it's, I don't know. He may have. He may have done it underneath a different name. I don't know. But condition, although it does matter, doesn't matter, if that makes sense to you. Because your competition will not be looking at something other like that. In fact, most people would just look at it and go, well, I'm not buying this. It's falling apart.
Yeah.
They're absolutely correct. It is falling apart. Do subscribe if you haven't. Do comment down below. We definitely would appreciate it. We do answer all the comments. Any kind of feedback would be greatly appreciated. We try to do the channel with what you like. We make improvements as you tell us things that we're doing wrong. We definitely do try to make improvements. And do check us out on Instagram. Like I said, it definitely is interesting. It's fun to do. It doesn't take a lot of time for you to watch us. A lot shorter video than this. I think a minute or 30-second long video. Nice. And we give you little tips over here every single day. Like I said, you learn something or other new, hopefully. And we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.